All right, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Well, folks, as you know, we are in a pandemic, and so for entrepreneurs, cash is king. In fact, revenue is the lifeblood of every company. Next on the Jeff Crilley Show, the author of Profit Peak for Entrepreneurs. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
In football, they have an old saying that winning is a great deodorant. You can have a lot of problems with a team as long as the team is winning. I liken that to entrepreneurs and revenue. If the revenue's coming in, an entrepreneur can make a lot of mistakes. If they are not bringing in money, things get very tight. To talk about that, Peter M. Baldwin, he is the author of an upcoming book called Profit Peak for Entrepreneurs. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad to be here. So this book will be out on Amazon on August 23rd. And the reason I wrote it is because I don't feel like that there is a book of this kind on the market. This is not written for large companies, for corporations. This is a book of the trenches, the people who work small to medium-sized business, from anywhere from a mom and pop store all the way up to 30, 40 million. And what this book does is it helps owners learn what to do with that revenue that they've started to make.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and put your book cover up on the screen so people can see it. They can pre-order it on Amazon, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, they can. I'll turn the switch on. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So tell us why you wrote this book. And there's nothing else like it on the market.
Right. So I am a third-generation manufacturer, and my very first job was working in a lumber mill. I was given a shovel, and I was told to clean up all the sawdust under the debarker, the machine that removes the bark from the logs. And I really have a love for manufacturing and distribution. And I started my career by working in large companies. And as I worked there, I even became a management consultant, and I would be on a team of 20 to 30 consultants in a very large corporation. And I did not feel like I was making an impact, and I didn't feel like my need or my purpose was being filled. And about 18 years ago, I repositioned myself to work with small business owners. And in doing so, I found a group of people who don't have all of the tools and techniques that these large companies have. They just don't have the budget to pay for 20 people, let alone one person. And I decided that it would be my purpose to reposition and repurpose all of these tools and techniques for small to medium-sized business so that these entrepreneurs could have the same success that large companies are having.
Outstanding. And your timing is perfect because I think a lot of entrepreneurs with the pandemic have been thrown off their game. And so this is a good time for entrepreneurs to start studying up on what are successful business owners doing. So let's talk about COVID-19. That threw everybody for a loop. What are you telling your clients? Because I know you're a fractional CFO for a number of companies.
Correct. Number one is cash is the most important thing that we can preserve right now. And I liken this to being on a beach with very rough waves. So it's not a smooth, beach where the waves barely come in, but these are big waves. And I was out on the beach not long ago with my daughter, and she was, just having a good time. We were seeing the big waves come in. She even went up, and some of them hit her. And then all of a sudden we said, okay, that was good, let's do something else. So we turned our back to the wave. And when we did that, a mysterious wave that we weren't expecting came and knocked her down. Unfortunately, she was okay. But I liken this to business owners. This COVID-19 is a wave that's hit them, but it's only the first wave, and there's many waves that are still coming. And so this first wave, what happened is, you wake up, and if you're fortunate, you're not a business that shut down. You're a business that maybe lost some revenue. Now, this isn't always the case because some businesses are doing quite well, but in many cases, companies lost 20%, 30%, 50% of their revenue, and this is a serious wave that is hitting these businesses.
Yes. Well, I can speak as an entrepreneur that, in the early days of the pandemic, I was worried. And then I got a phone call on a Saturday from a guy who was holding a men's Bible study and said, hey, I can't meet physically with my team. I hear you guys have something to do with telecommunications. And that was kind of a bright light for me that, gosh, I can pivot. We have the resources to devote a lot more energy into something that everybody needs right now, which is communications. So, is that something you would advise small business owners to do, is look for ways to adapt to the new world?
Yes, and if they are working on their business constantly is really what I would advise. And we've seen the last couple of years this convergence of technology and workflow that maybe I don't need to do the same processes, or maybe I don't need to be isolated, but I can talk to my people in different ways. And one of the keys of working on your business right now is with telecommunications, is with taking all of your data off-site, providing a way for your employees. Maybe there's one day that we won't be able to sit around a conference table together. And what are we going to do? How are we going to transact business? How are we going to make the important decisions that we need to make? And so definitely Zoom has stepped up. I think I've seen a little bit of Zoom fatigue lately.
Yes.
But like learning a new tool, we all have to adapt to the new way. And, we thought wave one might be it. And then we were doing okay with COVID-19. And then the next one came and everybody buckled down again. Yes. And so here we all are again. So I would advise that we use the telecommunications. And also another important concept is, if I am hosting my data on site in my facility and I'm relying on my backup and my ability to access that data, then I probably ought to rethink that. I should think about having somebody else host it, having some other way to connect than my personal physical location.
Your for-profit business is called Your 10%, and I love that name. Tell us what it means.
Well, Your 10% is kind of a play on the 10%. So this is a principle that is used quite often. It's even a biblical principle, the 10th or the tithe or the 10 plagues. It's also, used in the decathlon. There's always this number 10. And so the methodology for Your 10% is to take small incremental steps constantly on your business. Find a part of your business, we'll actually find 3 to 5 parts of your business, and go for a 10% improvement in each of those areas. And the amazing thing is that once you get the 10% in one area and you add the other, then it has this compounding effect. So the 10% is a way of set small goals, but continue to work on your business.
I love it. Peter, you've been a great guest. We're going to put your website up. It's an acronym for your 10%. Y10P.com is the website. Peter Baldwin, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for having me.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.